Hello students, let us continue with chapter 2 in a snapshot, the address. Okay, chapter 2, the address. Okay, let us continue. So I am going to revise once again what I am going to summarize what I have explained in my last video. Okay, in my last video I explained till this paragraph. Okay, so let me summarize. So in this story we have seen that a lady, a woman protagonist goes to Mrs. Dorling's house and she rings the bell of Mrs. Dorling's house. So after ringing the doorbell, Mrs. Dorling, who lived at number 46 Marconi Street, the protagonist, was given a cold reception, and Mrs. Dorling took much time to recognize her. Mrs. Dorling had thought everyone in the protagonist's family was dead and asked if anyone else had come along with her. Mrs. Dorling refused to let the protagonist inside her home and told her to come back sometime later. The protagonist recognized her mother's green cardigan, which Mrs. Dorling was wearing. She decided to go back to the train station and thought about her mother and how she told her about Mrs. Dorling, who was an acquaintance of hers. During the war, Mrs. Dorling would visit their house and take their possessions with her, as she didn't want them to get lost if they ever left the place. Mrs. Dorling had a broad bag. She used to carry the baggage full of things from the protagonist's house. Okay, so now let us continue with the chapter. Let us discuss what happened in the rest part of the chapter. So let's start from here. My mother seemed to notice that I was not entirely convinced. So the protagonist's mother noticed that she wasn't convinced. So looked at me reprovingly. Reprovingly means critically, and after that we spoke no more about it. So her mother noticed that she wasn't convinced and looked at her critically. So after that day they never talked about the incident again. Meanwhile, I had arrived at the station without having paid much attention to things on the way. So without paying much attention, without noticing her surrounding in detail, the protagonist reached at the station. I was walking in familiar places again for the first time since the war, but I did not want to go further than was necessary. So here protagonist tells us, so she had visited at the place where she used to live before war. After war she visited at the same place after so many years after war. But even though she was not interested in other things, she only was interested in necessary things. I didn't want to upset myself with the sight of streets and houses full of memories from a precious time. So the narrator did not want to upset, protagonist did not want to upset herself with the sight of the streets, because before war she used to live there. So probably it was her past memory. Okay, so that is why she did not want to go to the streets. She did not want to recall all the memories of her past days. So that is why she said that I didn't want to upset myself with the sight of streets and houses full of memories from a previous time. In the train back, I saw Mrs. Darling in front of me again. So when she boarded on the train, she remembers the image of Mrs. Darling in front of her once again. I had the first time I met her. So she had met her first time. It was the morning after the day my mother had told me about her. So when she met Mrs. Darling first time, then the protagonist mother told her about Mrs. Darling. I had got up late and coming downstairs. The protagonist had got up late and she was coming downstairs. I saw my mother about to see someone out, a woman with a broad back. Then when she was coming downstairs, so she saw a lady who has a broad back. So probably she was Mrs. Darling. So she started remembering about Mrs. Darling, what she knew about her and what her mother told her, when did she see her. So all the things she was remembering about Mrs. Darling. There is my daughter, said my mother. She knocked. She beckoned to me. So indicating towards her daughter. So the protagonist mother told the lady Mrs. Darling that she was her daughter. The protagonist was her daughter. The woman nodded and picked up the suitcase under the coat rack. So the woman, Darling, she nodded, she moved her head and picked up the suitcase under the coat rack. She wore a brown coat and a shapeless hat. So Mrs. Darling was wearing a brown coat and shapeless hat. That time when the protagonist met her first time and her mother introduced about her. Does she live far away? So further the protagonist asked her mother whether she lived far away. I asked, seeing the difficulty she had going out of the house with heavy case. So she was facing difficulty in going out of the house with that big suitcase in which she was putting all the belongings of narrator's mother. In Marconi Street, said my mother. So the narrator's mother informed her that she lived in Marconi Street, number 46. Remember that. So the narrator's mother told her that she lived at Marconi Street, number 46. So at this point the narrator got to know the address of Mrs. Dorling. Okay, so it was the first time when she met her. So what we have discussed, her mother noticed that she wasn't convinced protagonist's mother noticed that she wasn't convinced and looked at her critically. So after that day they never talked about the incident again. She reached the station without noticing any details on the way. She passed the familiar things after the war was after the war was over for the first time. She didn't want to upset herself with the familiar sights of houses and streets that reminded her all the previous times. Back in the time she saw Mrs. Dorling in person a day after her mother told her daughter about her. She woke up late that morning and she was going downstairs. She saw her means Mrs. Dorling, the lady with a broad back. Her mother was seeing her out. Her mother introduced the protagonist to the lady. She signaled to her and the woman responded with a nod. She picked the suitcase under the coat rack. She was wearing a brown coat. And a shapeless hat. The protagonist asked her mother if she lived far away. The mother told her the address, Marconi Street, number 46. She remembered it. Okay. I had remembered it, but I had waited a long time to go there. So since the protagonist's mother told this address in her childhood, so she knew the address, but she waited for the long time to visit there. Initially, after the liberation, I was absolutely not interested in all that stored stuff, but naturally I was also rather afraid of it. So further she tells us that in the beginning she was, after liberation, after war, after the war, after she got liberty, after freedom, she was not interested in all that stored stuff. So stored stuff means the old things, the antique things which Mrs. Dorling had taken with her to her home. So those are the stored stuff. And naturally I was also rather afraid of it. And also she was afraid of those old things because they might causes her old memories which may become painful. After afraid of being confronted with things that had belonged to a connection that no longer existed, which were hidden away in a cupboards and boxes and waiting in vain, unless they were put back in their place again, which had endured all those years because they were things. So actually narrator, during war they had to suffer a lot. So that is why she says that they have been hidden, they have been kept under cupboards and boxes. If I take them back and I keep them again at their proper place, then whenever I would see them, they would keep me remind about my past, and which was painful. So that is why in the beginning she was not interested in taking the things back from Mrs. Dorling. But gradually everything became more normal again. But gradually, slowly, everything became normal after war. Bread was getting to be a lighter color. There was a bed you could sleep in, unthreatened, a room with a view you were more used to glancing at each day. Okay, so now after war situation becomes normal and now people can feel free. And one day I noticed I was curious about all the possessions that must still be in that address. So one day, so she it stuck to her mind that her things would be with her, and that was surely with the lady Mrs. Dorling. So her all the things, all the old things were taken away by Mrs. Dorling. So one day she thought that all her initially she did not think so, but when everything became normal, she thought that her all the old things must be with her. I wanted to see them, touch, remember. So the protagonist wanted to see her old things, she wanted to touch them, she wanted to remember them. So that is why she wanted to bring them back from Mrs. Dorling's house. After my first visit in vain to Mrs. Dorling's house, I decided to try a second time. So her first visit was in vain, it was not fruitful. So that is why she decided to visit once again. Now a girl about 15 opened the door to me. So this time when protagonist reached Mrs. Dorling's house the second time, so this time it was not Mrs. Dorling who opened the door. It was this time a girl of 15 who opened the door. I asked her if her mother was at home. So she inquired whether her mother was at home. No, she said. My mother's doing an errand. So she informed that her mother was not in the house. She has gone outside some errands. Some errands means some work for some related to business. So she was not in home. She has gone out for her business. No matter, I said I'll wait for her. So further, the protagonist proposed that she would wait for her mother. So it was the second time when one protagonist the reached Mrs. Dorling's house, because she could not control over her feelings. She wanted to touch, she wanted to look, she wanted to remember her old things, old belongings which Mrs. Dorling was having. So that is why she visited Mrs. Dorling's house second time. So what we have discussed so far? So she remembered the address, but she took long to visit the place. So after the freedom, she was on one hand not interested, on the other was afraid. She was afraid of getting confronted with the past memories and connections that no longer existed. Connections were hidden in cupboards and boxes. It seemed that those memories were waiting in vain to put them back to their places, as they had suffered all these years because they were only things. Things were getting normal in protagonist's life, but one day she got curious about all the things that were still at that address. She wanted to see them and touch them. So after the first hopeless visit, she decided to try one more time. So when she reached Mrs. Dorling's home, a girl of 15 years opened the door. Protagonist asked her about her mother. She told her that she was outside doing some errands, to which the protagonist decided that she would wait for her. Okay, so now let us continue from this paragraph. I followed the girl along with the passage. So the protagonist followed the girl along with the passage. An old-fashioned iron Hanukkah, it's a feast of lights, which is used in festivals in December. So it's a feast of lights. An old-fashioned iron Hanukkah candle holder hung next to a mirror. So an old-fashioned iron Hanukkah was kept next to the mirror. We never used it, and it belonged to the protagonist. So protagonist said that we never used it because it was much more cumbersome than a single candlestick. So they never used it because it was heavy type of object, so than a single, so it was not easy to use, so that is why they never used it. And won't you sit down, asked the girl. So the girl asked the protagonist to sit down. She held open the door of the living room, and I went inside past her. So the girl opened the door of living room, and the narrator also went inside following her. I stopped horrified. So the narrator got amazed. She stopped horrified. I was in a room I knew and did not know. So she was amazed because when she entered in the room, she found herself among her familiar things. So that is why she said that. So that time she was in a room which she knew and she did not know. She did not know because the room was new for her, but the things which was in the room, all were the old things, all were the old belongings to the narrator. So that is why she said that I was in a room I knew and did not know. I found myself in the midst of things I did want to see again, but which oppressed me in the strange atmosphere. So he found herself middle of the things she wanted to see once again, but which oppressed her in the strange atmosphere. So it was, oppressing her, and it was like a strange atmosphere. She found her things in a room, but all the things, making her remind her past days. So that is why it was oppressing her. Or because of the tasteless way everything was arranged, and not a single thing was arranged properly. They were arranged in a poorly way, in a poor way, because of the ugly furniture or the muggy smell that hung there. So it was ugly furniture. She describes the room of Mrs. Dorling where all her belongings were there. Okay, so a smell was coming. I don't know, but I scarcely dared to look around me. So she dared not to look around the things. Hardly she dared to look around the things. The girl moved a chair. I sat down and stared at the wooden tablecloth. So the girl offered a chair. The protagonist sat down and she was looking at the wooden tablecloth. I rubbed it. So she rubbed the wooden tablecloth. My fingers grew warm from rubbing. I followed the lines of the pattern. Somewhere on the edge there should be a burn mark that had never been repaired. My mother will be back soon, said the girl. I have already made tea for you. Will you have a cup? Thank you. So students, so when second time she visited and Mrs. Dorling was not at home, so this conversation was going on. The girl of 15 years who was daughter of Mrs. Dorling and the protagonist, in which protagonist found herself middle her old things when she rubbed and checked the pattern of the tablecloth. So it was also it also belonged to her. Okay, so the girl prepared a tea and offered her. So what we have discussed, let me once again revise this part. The protagonist followed the girl along the passage. There was a Hanukkah candle holder hung next to a mirror. She remembered that she never used it, as it was unimaginable. It was unmanageable. It was very hard to manage. So it was very heavy. So that's why they never used it. The girl asked her to sit down, and she opened the door for the living room. She stopped and she was disturbed. She was standing in a room which she knew and didn't. She was standing in the middle of things which she did not want to see, and they burdened her. Maybe because of the way things were arranged, or the humid smell in the room, or the ugly furniture. She was scared to look at everything. She sat down on a chair which the girl pulled out for her. She looked at the wooden tablecloth, she rubbed it, and her finger felt warm as she followed the lines of the pattern. She remembered the burn mark that was never repaired. The girl told her that her mother would be back soon and asked if she would like to have a cup of tea. So she answered, "Thank you." So it's all about today's video. So rest part of the lesson, rest part of the chapter 2 in your snapshot, the address I will discuss in my next video. I will explain in my next video. So thank you for watching.